and welcome to House of Astralis. My name is Kayla, and today I will be your cosmic guide for this full moon and Sagittarius spread. I intend for this message to find you at the perfect moment, regardless of space and time, and of course, for your highest and best intentions. As this is a personal reading, please be at peace with anything that does not fit. Trust that it's meant for someone else and that you will receive the messages that you need to know. Today, I have a couple different decks here, and in one of my other readings last month, I mentioned the Ritual workbook, and obviously we're in June, so I will be reading from this as well. Not sponsored, I just think it's a great recap on what the astrology is and kind of what it's doing here because I'm interested in astrology, but I wouldn't call myself an astrologer, or maybe I can't explain it though in the way that I'd like. So I love reading from here because it's a great little snapshot. So I'll put timestamps down below if you would like to skip this. But starts off with the full moon in Sagittarius is a time of expansion, truth seeking, and adventure, illuminating the bigger picture of our lives. Sagittarius, ruled by Jupiter, is a fire sign known for its optimism, curiosity, and philosophical nature. This lunation encourages us to step out of our comfort zones, embrace new perspectives, and release anything that limits our growth. It's a time of heightened awareness where clarity arrives through exploration, whether through travel, learning, or deep conversations that challenge our beliefs. As a mutable air sign, Sagittarius thrives on adaptability and movement, making this full moon a catalyst for change and new experiences. Mutable energy helps us transition from one phase to another, encouraging us to let go of outdated perspectives and embrace new possibilities. Fire adds passion and urgency, igniting a desire for freedom and self-discovery. However, this with this restless energy, it's important to balance enthusiasm with discernment, ensuring that impulsive decisions align with long-term goals. Under this lunation, truth and authenticity take center stage, whether it's a revelation about a personal belief, sudden opportunities for growth, or the realization that it's time to break free from limitations. The full moon in Sagittarius invites us to expand our horizons by embracing its wisdom. We can release old fears and step forward with renewed confidence, trusting that the journey ahead is filled with positivity. This full moon in Sagittarius is a time to embrace expansion, adventure, and pursuit of truth. Sagittarius, again ruled by Jupiter, I'm on a different page now, so it's kind of repeating the same thing. um, is a sign of exploration, optimism, and higher wisdom. During this full moon, you are encouraged to break free from limitations, explore new horizons, align with your deeper purpose. It's a powerful time to seek personal freedom, connect with your inner truth, and set your sights on future goals with enthusiasm, and vision. So, with that being said, they do have a little spread here as well, which I really like because sometimes coming up with my own questions, you know. It'd be like that. So having this pre-made and it's based on the description that I just read to you, it's really helpful. I'll take a few questions here and I have some other questions for the full spread. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get started for your full moon reading. Alrighty, so to start us off, I'll go ahead and do an oracle card from the Starlight Frequencies Oracle, just to get an overall vibe for this collective regarding your full moon and Sagittarius experience. What's going on here? We've got 21 universal oneness. We are all in this together. Consciousness is flowing without separation. We act as one. At the bottom of that, we have 19, which I don't know why. Oh, the ninth house. Okay. I was like, 19, that's giving me Sag. Okay, so that's the ninth house here. So you are the source and hold all the power you require within. We are giving you the tools to unlock these doors now. Ooh, very exciting. This is at the bottom of the deck here. Okay, and to start us off after that, let's go ahead and get into where you are right now. Where's this collective right now? We've got number 12, the Hanged Man. So again, I think the description was talking about looking at different perspectives, right? Seeing how you can flip your story, your mindset, and live a better, authentically lived life. So if you're seeing something that you don't like, it's time to really flip it on its head and see how you can change it or change your mindset about, okay, how can I do this? How can I go ahead and live the life that I want? And at the bottom of the deck, we have the King of Wands. So he's very in control, very passionate, right? And if this is about creativity, career, he's gonna get it done. It's like he's under control, right? He has all this fire and passion around him, but he's controlling it. He's not letting it get too far. And maybe that's him having another perspective. Maybe before he would have been engulfed in all of this fire and this flame. But now, taking the opportunity to go ahead and relax, kind of look at it from pause and look at it from another perspective. And what is no longer serving you? What is no longer serving this collective? We've got the Eight of Swords. So, yeah, having that victim mindset, right? It's not serving you to hold yourself up with all of these thoughts. And look, it's blocking the little path right here. So if these are blocking you from moving forward to the path that you're meant to live, these kind of look like pyramids. I mean, just like hills, right? But there's three of them. So either way, like the higher knowledge, the higher wisdom here. So, and it looks like she's wanting to get out. She knows how stressful this is, so she's contemplating, she's doing that, and maybe even right there and then deciding, okay, I'm no longer going to do this anymore. I can break free. So what's no longer serving is this victim mentality of I can't do it. I can't go on. I can't do what I would like to do because you can. It takes a simple mindset change, right? So that you can go ahead and work towards it. And the lack of water here is very sparse. So making sure to also take care of your emotional needs will be important. And I did feel called to pull numerology for this one as well. Okay, and then bottom of the deck for the Eight of Swords was the High Priestess. So trusting your intuition, right? Being able to do this inner work here. The inner work to go in and realize, okay, these bad habits, these bad thoughts are no longer serving me. I need to go ahead and thinking about it another way. I need to go ahead and look at it from another perspective, even. Okay, so the two cards that fell, we have 99 compassion and 77 spirituality. So, and I pulled this for the Eight of Swords. So here, have compassion for yourself, of course. Sometimes when we don't talk to ourselves in a compassionate way, that hinders us and that even hinders your inner child, right? Does that inner child deserve to be talked to that way? You don't deserve to be talked to that way to start. So, making sure to take some time to see how far you've come. First of all, see that you are one. You are one to this universe, to Mother Earth, right? So, you deserve to talk to yourself in a way that's healthy and filled with love and peace, even. So, having compassion for yourself, and maybe that's towards why have I been so stuck here? Why do I keep doing this to myself over and over again? Have compassion. You've already made this realization, and now you can go ahead and make the necessary changes, but you don't have to keep going down on yourself, right? And 77 spirituality, I love that because the high priestess was on the bottom of that deck. So on the right here. So, with that being said, spirituality, right? So, if you are holding yourself back from this spiritual world or the spiritual abilities, even having that victim mindset of, I'm not intuitive, I'm not this, I'm not that, have compassion for yourself. We are all intuitive. We just have to remember and really awaken those abilities because they're not honed in or they're not nurtured from when we are born. So it's that remembering, right? We're all in this together. Yes, perfect. Okay, so now that we know what is no longer serving you, again, this victim mentality. How can we go ahead and let this go? So we have the Ace and Two of Cups here. With the Ace, there is that new emotional opportunity. The cup is overfilling, right, with joy. So letting it go by giving yourself the compassion. And that mind shift change. This is a new possibility, a new way of feeling, even. Let yourself feel those emotions here. So that's how you can get out of this is, bring more water into this. Bring more of that emotion. Don't let yourself be a dry, stiff, hot desert that isn't nurturing you. And of course, with this unity, with the two cups, the unity partnership, and they're filling each other's cup. There's balance here. So making sure to stay open like this lotus, stay open to the possibility of others. Maybe this is a unity within yourself. If you are the one holding you back, right, with the Eight of Swords, then you are the one who can free yourself. We don't have to rely on other people to do it for us. But of course, be open to people coming in to help because we don't know other perspectives until we experience them or until someone else is able to come in and really help us see another way, right? That's how we learn. So making sure to stay open and compassionate for relationship, spiritual partnership. That keeps coming up. There's love. Okay, so however this is, love is love. Love is everything. So we don't have to really worry about whether it's platonic or romantic because it's going to show up for everybody and either way it's love, so making sure to stay open to that. This is how you can let it go, by opening yourself up to love, that heart chakra. All right, so we know what area, and by the way, the two or the high priestess came out again, so I'm just keeping that off to the side. It's overall general, right? So now, again, that we know what isn't serving you, how can you let it go? Let's look on the flip side. Let's, like the hangman, right? What area of your life is ready for expansion and growth? What area of your life is ready for expansion and growth? I think this is saying put yourself first. Take your stuff and leave. Take your stuff and all the good thought processes that you have or the healthy habits and leave the other ones behind. These don't serve you, so you can leave them. Let them go. Let others have them if they want to deal with that. Don't stay in this community in sense that isn't serving you because clearly there's a want to leave, right? It's like I want to take my stuff and go, but I kind of feel bad. Sometimes you just have to, right? With the King of Swords here, you have to put down your boundaries. This isn't a time for you to be emotionally bare. This isn't a time for you to put your emotions in your life, your path on the sidelines for somebody else. You have to go ahead and take that risk, even if someone feels like you're betraying them. Of course, I'm saying this with love and the hopes that you have the best intentions in mind, and sometimes other people can't see that, but we have to put ourselves first, honestly, and I think if you have to have those tough conversations, you can be sorry, you can be empathetic while still putting yourself first. You don't have to be so cutthroat, but of course, if your situation calls for it, definitely do you? I suppose, but I still think having those strong boundaries and the ability to communicate clearly about your wants, your needs, and how you will go ahead and put yourself first, that's going to be most important, right? You can't reach this part with the two cups and the balance and the equal exchange if you're too busy worrying about other people, if you're too busy overfilling their cups, but having none in your own. So you got to make sure to cut that out. Cut out whatever isn't working for you. And with that, the numerology we had was 56, relationship change. So that can be so many things. That can be with yourself. That can be the situation that you're in, relationship, changing that relationship in the dynamic of okay, I'm here, I have all my stuff, but maybe other people are kind of plaguing your own, right? So having that separation, that discernment, that's also what the thing was saying. The excerpt that I read was the discernment, knowing what is yours and what isn't yours to take, to hold on to keep as your own, really. Okay, so now what beliefs, fears, or doubts are holding you back from this expansion? So, what's holding you back from walking away and having your set boundaries and that relationship change? Again, it can be with anything at this point. So, we have the Seven of Cups. So, it looks like lots of choices here, but again, with the theme of using your discernment, what is right for you here, right? What actually looks good to you? What is actually going to benefit you and your path? Maybe there's some anxiety, even because of all these options and nothing looks good, right? It all looks kind of nightmarish. So if you can really discern what is yours and what isn't, and being able to cut out the rest here, you're going to be able to move forward. But for now, what's holding you back is all of these options or the uncertainty, the illusion, even. So that's to say, right now we have three swords and three cups out on the table. So there needs to be some balance here. And again, lots of that mental energy. And there's more so, I don't want to say a lack of the emotions in the cups, but with the Eight of Swords, it was very bare, right? And even in this cup, there's water, but it's murky and green. It's, would you want to be there, right? So making sure to really take the time for yourself to realize and use that discernment of, okay, what's going to be for me? What's mine? And taking it slow. The Page of Pentacles here, take it slow because no, stay grounded. You can take it slow, but with the message of the King of Wand here as well, it's kind of be slow. The growth, okay, the growth is going to be slow and steady here. So, if you're really having a hard time discerning things, you're gonna have to look at it from that other perspective here with the hangman, but also realize that regardless, things may take some time. And that's okay. You can go through this healing and this change isn't going to be always a fast or even linear process, right? So we have to make sure that we're cultivating that groundedness and the materialism that helps us succeed. Because if we didn't have any of this, we might be all over the place. So making sure to ground yourself in reality while also, again, having that control. Have that control over what you will allow in and what you will allow to deceive you, even. Control over what is yours and what isn't. Discernment. So yeah, with the groundedness, we have 74 in nature. Touch some grass, it's simple enough. I say that, but of course, put it into your own context, your own situation here. But if there is discernment, and decisions that you have to make, sometimes just, again, I think I've said it in another video where go listen to the wind, right? Let it talk to you. Go sit next to a tree, just sit outside. As I say that, I look and this was under the King of Wands. It's the Four of Swords. So he's literally sitting by a tree outside. Just sometimes it's that simple, right? Go sit down, 5, 10 minutes. It shouldn't take too long. Fit it in your schedule somewhere, anywhere, right? Just go sit down, take a breather, thank the tree for its space here, thank it for all of its hard work. Okay, so now with the full moon, things are illuminated and yeah, right? They're illuminated because it's so big and yes, they're illuminated. They're illuminated and sometimes things can come out and it seems like with this Sagittarius, as I say that on the after the Four of Swords was justice and I was going to say truth comes out. That's what the excerpt was saying. So truth may come out. So what is going to be revealed to you under this full moon in Sag? What personal truth or wisdom will be revealed to you under this full moon here? What's going to be revealed to you? All right, four cards came out. I originally wasn't gonna take any or all of these, but sometimes you get that intuitive hit, like, nah. Like, nah. So I don't know if this is a situation, four different situations, four different truths, or maybe they all come in together. But okay. So I kind of see a separation. So these two and these two kind of its own separate messages. And I don't think it could show the Knight of Cups, but the Knight of Cups is here, and we have the Three of Swords. So, Three of Swords, again, going back to that relationship change card, the numerology card. Sometimes you have to have those heartbreaking conversations or the heartbreaking realization of, dang, I've been sabotaging myself a whole lot here. Dang, I am too much in my victim mentality here. And I perhaps wasted a lot of time or I missed opportunities that I felt like were should have been mine, that I missed out on them. So having that realization, right? So the truth about something here. The swords bring clarity, maybe clarity on a heartbreaking situation, even something that you've gone through. And with the knight, I can show the dragon. The Knight of Cups, right? He's the romantic in the card and sometimes very idealistic and like telling you what you want to hear, being the sweet romantic and all of the sweet nothings, right? But it doesn't work out. And maybe he is the one who leaves in the middle of the night with all of his things and leaves you bare and just confused even. So if there was a relationship in your life that you thought was this or that you wanted to be this, the happy ending. Where did I see it? I cut the deck, 46, domestic harmony. So if that's what you were craving, domestic harmony here, and it's not working out, it's kind of that realization, right? That heartbreak. And this guy, or this person's not really who I think they are, or they're not really someone who can bring me what I need. That's kind of a heartbreak in itself, right? Like it sucks having to stay away and having to let that go because okay, so I got it down that it was saying, Spears was saying, focus on the happy memories, right? If there are any, focus on the good and just be content with whatever needs to go because you have to protect your path. You have to not stay stuck where you are here. You have to let this person go if they're just very illusionary, delusional even, or just sometimes it just doesn't seem right, right? Sometimes you get that little hint right away of, okay, is this too good to be true? Or they say all this, but they're not doing that because actions speak louder than words. Okay, so that's one truth, I suppose. So that's one truth for perhaps a group of people here that there's going to be some sort of realization about your relationships here. And then the next set is Strength and the King of Pentacles. So, knowing, of course, that you are strong, you can tame your inner beast. And again, this is union, right? This is that Two of Cups. She's taming it, telling the lion, like, it's okay, the inner beast of all my craziness. It's okay. I can still love you regardless. I can still give you love and compassion. I can give you compassion because I know what you've been through and I know that it's okay regardless. Having compassion for the wild side, right, of the untamed, of the parts of ourselves that maybe don't get to come out so often here. But knowing that you can do this from a grounded place now, that you're not all over the place, and he's very abundant, right? He's cultivated and has all the knowledge. He's grounded and supported here. You are strong and you are supported. And then numerology for this one as well. So yeah. Any? Thing else regarding these personal truths or wisdom that will be revealed. Wisdom, yeah. Like, you've got this. Maybe your idea is that the King of Wands here that it was coming out for, maybe, you'll realize something. If I can do this, and I will be successful, regardless of what that looks like, right? Because you can still fail, but be successful. Yeah, okay. Under the four cards that were just pulled, we have the Nine of Pentacles. So again, sometimes things are slow with the snails here, but you're gonna be able to be independent. You can be okay and independent. You can let go of these relationships and these old patterns and belief systems that no longer hurt you or serve you, so that you can be free and it'll be okay. It'll be purifying with that bird, right? It'll be a much needed breath, fresh air. And you won't, just because you're alone doesn't mean you're lonely. And yeah, with that, right, with the King of Pentacles and the Nine of Pentacles, we have manifestation. So you're gonna be able to manifest or realize who you are, the magician. Hint, 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 you are the magician. So go ahead and manifest your desires, manifest these relationship changes, the cord cuttings, even. Gotta do what you gotta do. And if that's the way you can really let go, you have to put some effort in, some effort. Okay, and so with that, the High Priestess here as well. How can you align more deeply with your spiritual path or higher purpose? What can you do to align more with your spiritual path or higher purpose? Page of Cups. Trust your intuition. Allow things to speak to you. Go talk to the wind. Go ahead and go speak and let the nature talk to you. Look at all these animals here and nature in general. It has a lot to say. Nature has a lot to say. So just lending an ear, sitting by that tree, being able to take some deep breaths, really ground yourself and open up to the flow of things. Open up to the flow and the want to move forward and live a better life for yourself, right? Do you want to be stuck forever in the Eight of Swords? No. And with the Emperor, again, having more stability and control and authority over your life here because it's your life. No one's going to live it for you. And ultimately, if you have people in your ear telling you, you should do this or this and that and this, take it, be open and receptive to what they're saying because again, we all carry wisdom and sometimes it just takes one little phrase or word to kind of open us up. So stay open, but at the same time, they aren't living your life. So they can tell you all the advice, all of this, all of that, but you are the one who will be living your life. So you have to make sure to have that discernment. Again, the Seven of Cups. So if someone's in your ear again telling you all this stuff, maybe that's why you're so confused. Like you're so stuck about what you should do and all these options because you have so many people telling you their point. But you have to have that discernment of what is best for my life. And how do you figure that out? You listen to your intuition. You go in, sit by a tree, sit in nature, ground, and be open and receptive to messages for your highest and best good so that you can go ahead and have rule over your life. You are the emperor. This is stability. This is leadership, even. Lead your own life. You are not sitting back. You're not a co-creator if you're just living life for somebody else or just doing whatever, right? You have to go ahead and actively participate in your life. So this is what the emperor is saying. You are protected. You have the eagle shield here. You're protected. And look, he's open, but he's kind of looking the other way and making sure that his foundation is still going to be solid. And lastly, with the Ten of Cups, literally walking away. How can you align more deeply with your path? Walk away from what doesn't serve you. Walk away from other people's beliefs about how you should be, how you should live your life, etc. Walk away from all of this because it's not yours. Let the sun rise again for a new path, a new beginning here. And there is the bottom of the deck on this one. And it's the Three of Cups. So this card specifically, I will probably have to say this in every time I pull it because there's obviously double meanings or there's multiple meanings for every card, but this card, especially when I'm asking how can you align with your higher purpose or spiritual path, and this card comes out, it's saying, for me, spirit comes out and saying, hey, I'm here. Knock, knock. Knock, knock. Are you gonna answer? Are you going to listen to me? Is saying I'm with you and you are having the opportunity to receive, essentially. Obviously, make sure to be open, have fun, be playful, and celebrate yourself in your life. And maybe celebrate walking away, celebrate that relationship change, celebrate yourself with compassion, and celebrate that you were strong enough to walk away in the first place. So, obviously, that, but again, Spirit is here with you. You are protected, divinely guided, even. So making sure to really have faith and trust that. Okay, numerology for alignment. We have self-love. So what I was just saying, having compassion and love for yourself. And 48, financial discipline. So with that King of Pentacles coming, and even the Nine of Pentacles, like, yes, I can be self-sufficient and abundant, but you have to be actively participating. You can't just splurge and expect you to have continuous money, but manifesting that growth, obviously. But of course, you can't be too out there and too over the top, right? Have some discipline for yourself and your pockets. If you I just got hit. This could be literally for one of you. It's like if you're saving up money so you can leave a situation, so you can walk away safely, of course, you have to have that financial discipline, right? You have to have a safe keep of money there. And maybe this is literally like holding on to, like hoarding this money and holding on to it because you are planning an escape, so to speak. So making sure you really, yeah, stay safe. Good luck. And then we have personal growth at the bottom. So, yeah, all of this is personal growth. This is the full moon letting go of anything that isn't serving you so that you can go ahead and manifest the life that you want to live, manifest your path, your alignment. And all of this is growth, right? Even being stuck here and finally realizing it in the Eight of Swords that you are stuck, you were a victim, and that you should have a different outlook on life. That's that's personal growth, right? And again, just the simple act of acknowledging it. And then there's even more growth when you could go ahead and take action on that and leave or do what you need to do to change that mindset. I was listening to something the other day and it was saying that so we had the full moon in Sagittarius and it takes, well, let's do that's in December, 6 months? Yeah, 6 months. That makes sense. For the new moon to happen, and vice versa. If you're in a new moon, it's going to take 6 months for that full moon. So then you kind of can see the progress and the growth by then. So, for example, last month's full moon was in Scorpio, right? And that was in my fourth house, and that's actually my sun sign as well. So lots of house activation. And by the time November comes around for my birthday, there's a full moon. I think it's on my birthday. Let me check real quick. I'm pretty sure. Oh no. This is wild. Yeah, full moon in Taurus. Oh, okay. That's why, because the new moon will be the kind of like end of that cycle in a way. Either way, there's a full moon on my birthday in Taurus, my sister sign. My bestie is here. So then that new moon in Scorpio is on the 19th. Yeah, 2 weeks later. So it'll be interesting to see how that cycle comes to an end, right? Because I was letting things go, especially regarding family and or the fourth house in general, and working a lot with the ancestors. So it's going to be interesting to see what November 19th has in store for me regarding the new moon. And it's going to be in my fourth house. And I will just start a new solar return as well. So that's very exciting. Um, and Sag is my moon. So it's like having these back to back, honestly, is kind of fun. A full moon here, and then again having that cultivation, the end of that cycle in December for the new moon in Sag. So kind of keep a track of that. If you have to write things down of, okay, this is happening around this time to me, so that you can go back and trace it, that's really helpful, especially in astrology, because astrology as most, or as some people will know, that it's not necessarily fortune telling or even like predict. Yes, predicting because it's based on patterns. So we look back at previous transits and see what they did. So that's how we could say, okay, the moon is in this right now. This may happen because of patterns and, of course, what the planets and their signs mean and what they are in charge of. So it's helpful to keep track of what's happening to you around certain transits. I know there's some. I listened to Stephanie Compos yeah, horoscopes on Spotify, and sometimes she'll mention a certain transit, and she's like, "I know I don't really get good sleep around this time," or "My baby doesn't get good sleep," and so she's tracking it, right? And that's how we do that, is pattern recognition, and of course there's a lot that goes into astrology as well. The placements, the degrees, all of that fun stuff. But regardless, personal growth, and if it's helpful, I journal a lot, mostly just day-to-day stuff, so that next year or whenever I can look back and see how far I've come, what my personal growth and thoughts were at this time, and see how much I've changed, because that's really interesting, right? Having a new perspective. There's so many things now that I'm opening up to, and like, wow. Even myself 6 months ago might have not seen this because she wasn't looking at another perspective, but now I can cultivate that. Anyways, I wanted to pull one last card. Oh, that's what I wanted to do here. 'Cause I was shuffling for an oracle, and then I forgot that I had the intuition card here for the deeply aligning with the spiritual and personal path. But for the last oracle, so I wanted to do like the beginning and the end, right? We have 42 truth seeker, strengthen your intuitive senses and lift the veil from your mind's eye for a clearer connection to source. Isn't that what we were just talking about? How to align deeply. You have to really go ahead and lift the veil, be open, cut things out that don't serve you so you can be more receptive. Love that. Love that. And then the intuitive cards. These are just little, I don't know, exercises even. Obviously it's an oracle deck, but either way. So, how can you align more deeply with your higher purpose or spiritual path? Again, that high priestess, she's sitting here at the top of this all of these cards here. So, how can you do that? Again, going within, having that other perspective. Okay, how can this collective align more deeply? I had to shuffle these cards really odd or different because these are huge and my hands are super small. So let's go ahead and see. We have 35, learn about clairaudience. So clairaudience is a is essentially the psychic senses. So we have the five senses, and the clairs are just these amplified for spirit, for intuition, right? So audience, hearing helpful words and full sentences is the rarest psychic pathway. A wise, gentle voice speaking in your head is different than intuitive thought or your own inner dialogue. Don't experience Killer audience, listen to what others say, even lines from movies or overheard in the grocery aisle. That may be divine guidance. What was I saying about that? What was I saying about keeping it open so that you can listen to others? And, maybe they do have advice or thoughts that can help you, but you have to have discernment. But stay open and listen to what others are saying. This is especially true in music. Like if you ask maybe for a sign and you love music and that's how you connect creatively, even, or however it gets you open and flowy and playful so that you can connect with the divine, with the veil here. Try that. People say, I've heard, click shuffle three to ask for a sign. I don't know if it has to be super specific. Um, but it's like, okay, I'm gonna ask for a sign, spirit of my highest and best good, and I'll shuffle three times and play me music. So look out for that. And then we have 26, harmonize head and heart. Your energetic heart contains the soul's memory and wisdom. So your heart should be part of your decision-making process. Your heart knows where your soul is going, yet the rational head maps out the heart's desire. When the pragmatic head and intuitive heart compromise, you lead a more soulful life. It was in the beginning, I was saying heart chakra stuff. So again, making sure to lead with your heart and your mind, because there has to be a balance. If we're unbalanced and there's an overflow of emotion, we might not be living, or making decisions from the best place. But alternatively, if we're too logical, then we cut out things that might have were meant for us. And he's literally holding a female head, so that represents the yin, the intuition, right? The flow state. So you can't be too extreme on either side. All right. So lastly, last card for this full moon spread, we have 64, adopt and adapt intuitive rituals. Rituals are not necessary to access your intuition, but for some people, rituals may heighten, encourage, or focus intuition. Rituals can be as simple as lighting a candle, saying a prayer, placing your hand over your heart, ringing a bell, or sitting in certain spots. Adapt the rituals of others. So again, it doesn't have to be anything crazy. It can be as simple as sitting here grounding yourself. Right. So for me, before I get ready for a reading, I have my little ritual. And of course I cleanse. I have my little bell here as well. And just like certain little things like that. So you can really take that in. And of course, if you're into the magic and ritualistic side of things, even better, right? It can be fun. And if not, it doesn't have to be stepping into something like Wicca or witchcraft in general, it can just be something simple. It doesn't have to be all crazy. But with that, thank you so much for being here. Have a blessed cycle. Have a good full moon in Sagittarius. Again, take some notes here so that you can look back in December, 6 months from now, and see what's going on, what happened, and where you are there and then, and see what really came to fruition. By that time, I really hope, you were able to stand up for yourself even and take yours and cultivate your own life, your own authority here, and have that relationship change that you so may need for yourself, for others. We can't keep holding on to things just because it's comfortable. I will say this, I will probably die on this hill of sometimes we are made to be uncomfortable because it's not right. It can, and it doesn't have to be the whole thing. It can be a simple thing. And then we change something and that feels better. Or we change the whole thing and we feel a lot better, right? So use it to your um situation. But yeah, so thank you so much for being here. Definitely feel free to comment below so we can go ahead and chat. So I love that interaction, right? Let me know what resonated, what didn't, and what you're going through, because this was kind of heavy. Honestly, especially with the relationship change, the love, the victim mentality. But you've got this. Trust in yourself, trust in your abilities, and I'll go ahead and see you next time. Thank you.